Hey guys, Allie here tonight. Tonight I wanted to bring up the topic of saying I've changed, but nothing is changing. So you feel as if that you're inhabiting your new version. You've chosen a different story, but yet your external 3D circumstances are not changing. And what I'm here to tell you is that although you might have the idea, the new version of yourself in your mind, and you might choose to be it here and there, you are not sticking to it. Because if you're sticking to it, then your 3D will change automatically. It's just an automatic thing that will happen naturally. But if it's not changing, it's because you're still more identified with this current version of yourself versus the new version of yourself. It's really that simple. And I really don't be hard on yourselves and don't judge yourselves for this. This can be a little tricky for a lot of us. It doesn't have to be. It can be easy as that. It's whatever we decide it to be. But from my personal experience, it has been a little bit of a challenge to keep my focus on the new version of myself without getting distracted by what's happening in the story of my 3D. So, but as over the years, I've gotten better about that because I've become very conscious about it and I know what's happening. So it's just a matter of being intentional and conscious and choosing to be that new version instead of being unconscious about things. So I've improved as time goes on, and it will get easier for everybody. But all it is, like I said, guys, all it is if you're still seeing the same circumstances, first off, know that nothing stays the same. The only reason that it looks the same is because you're recreating that same reality in every moment. So everything is changing from moment to moment to moment, depending on who we are being in each moment. So if we decide to be this new version of ourselves and we're, for a day or two and we kind of are back and forth, but if we're not residing in that state more time than we are in this older state, this current state, then what is going to be reflected is more of the same. It's changing, but it's only reflecting to you more of the same. So it's just going to tell you that you haven't changed. You're not choosing to be that new version of yourself the majority of the time. You're still staying and going back and maybe wallowing into that current version of yourself. So every time that we notice this, it's a very good idea just to first be conscious of the fact that, okay, I'm identifying with my older reality. I am identifying with something that I am not choosing to experience anymore. So what does that mean? So that brings your attention to the fact that you want to be intentional and you want to choose to inhabit the state, this new being, so you can experience this new desired reality, this new story, and let the old just fade away. Now, when people start to do this, like I said, our attention is so caught up in the 3D for a lot of us. So when we meditate or we do something and we feel good and we're like, I'm on track, I got it, I'm there. And we are. But then slowly we start to identify more with whatever's happening in the 3D, which is our, current reality. And then we see ourselves back in that old version of ourselves. Well, that happens. And just know that as long as you are aware of it and then choosing to be that new version, that's awesome, because that's what you have to do. You have to continue to choose to be this new version of yourself. Like with anything, it can be feel like a little bit of work at first because it's not something that you're naturally used to being. But that's where your power, your energy, your focus, your intention, that's where all that comes in. So that's where you use that to choose who you want to be. Who are you being? And just for an example, we'll make it as simple as it can be. If you're experiencing a lack in a lot of areas of your life and you want to be more abundant, then you are going to inhabit a state of an abundant person. the story of the version of yourself that is abundant in all areas. And you can create mantras around that. You can create affirmations. There's all kinds of different ways to help get you in that state. And I'm not going to go into that here, but it's about using your power to choose which version of yourself that you're going to be. So when we decide that we want to be this new version of ourselves, and this is what we're choosing and this is what we're inhabiting within, don't resist the 3D. Yes, it might be what you no longer want. It might not have anything that you desire to experience anymore. That's fine. It's a storyline. It just is going to go on, but you're going to choose to experience a different story. So don't let that, if you're hinging on the 3D to change, then you haven't fully gone over within. You're still kind of like having a foot in this current reality and a foot in your new version, and you haven't totally gone in 100% into being that new version of yourself. When you do that, it does, when you go into being the new version of yourself, it doesn't mean that you should bitch about or resist or complain or anything about this current version that you've experienced, the current and past version that is in your 3D. It doesn't mean any of that because it all led you to where you are right now. So it's all perfect. Just, it's all experience and we learn from all of it. But to just know that it's changing in each moment, but you're not dependent on how that looks outside of you. You don't need that to change to feel something. It's you choosing to inhabit a different story, a different version, and then having that reflected back to you in time as it unfolds from your current reality until your desired reality. But don't resist what is, and don't settle for it either. Just choose to be this new version. And when you choose to be that new version, yes, you might still be doing some things in your current reality that you don't want to do in the new version of yourself, and that's fine. But still just go through with doing it, but inhabit the new version, state of being of yourself as you go through and do what you have to do throughout your day, because it is always unfolding and changing. As you inhabit that new state, that has to unfold in your 3D reality. It has to. There's no other way it can be. It has to. But to resist any of this current version, this current story that you're in, would just be to hold that in place. Anything you resist, it persists. If you complain, if you bitch, then you're engaging with that current version of yourself. And that's not necessary because there's no engagement needed. All you need to do is choose to be this other person. Don't, like I said, fight or bitch about what was in this current reality, because it all served you in some way or another. But just let it be, and then know that that your desired reality is unfolding in every moment. But you don't have to have that reflected back to you. It will be automatically. But let the dependence on the 3D go, because it isn't. That 3D dependence is based on who you're being. So as soon as you start to inhabit that new version of yourself more and more, to where that's the majority of where you spend your time, then all of the external 3D in your world is going to start to change and unfold and reflect that new version of yourself. But like I said, just do what you have to do in each day, but be that new version of yourself, knowing that it has to change and unfold to reflect that back to you. There's no other way. So I think that's all, guys. I just want to say, go all in, like I've done it a lot, I'll feel like good for like a few days sometimes. And then I'll be like, oh, this is so easy. I feel so good, And then all of a sudden it'll change and I won't feel as good. And I'll be identifying with this other version of myself. And all I know is that when that happens, is just like, okay, it's nothing to get upset about, and it's nothing to get upset about in terms of the story that's still in front of me. It's just about becoming aware and knowing, nope, I'm going to choose to be that different version of myself. Every time, just know I'm going to choose to be that different version of myself. And it has no other way but to reflect that back to you in a natural, organic way, and it'll lead you perfectly from your current story to your desired reality. There's a perfect way. Don't worry about how to get there. Just inhabit that state. And like I said, inhabit that desired reality state within, and be intentional about that and feel into it and have a vision of what you would like to experience in this new reality, and then be it, and then it will unfold for you. But go all in, guys. That's all I have to say, because I've experienced it a lot, going back and forth, and we just need to just be like, no, this is going to be it. Thank you, current circumstances. I appreciate you and everything you've given to me. I don't choose you anymore. I choose this new version and this new desired reality story. That's what I choose to experience. And I'm just going to keep my attention and focus on that, and have my being rest in that, and keep that as my truth and my knowing, and go about my day and know that it's all going to change perfectly in the perfect way. And yeah, it's all going to happen. It's all going to manifest. So, okay, guys, that's it for tonight. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.